Hi, everybody. Welcome to Keep It Spiritually Simple. And I'm going to keep it real simple right now. We are about to go into an AKASHIC record reading for me by Marie Swanson. And this is so that each and every one of you can kind of know what to expect when you have a session, because you hear about sessions and some people are just curious about it. So we're going to show you exactly what that is. So I'm going to turn it over to Rosemary. She's going to go into a quiet prayer, and we'll go from there. So everyone that's listening, there may be some pauses of silence, and that's okay. Welcome, Rosemary.
Thank you, Sandra. I'm honored to be here and do this for you. I'm excited. And just to let the audience know that I do say a prayer in order to open your records, and you've given me permission to open your records. So that's always the first step. And I will say an opening prayer, and then I'll go into silence and open your records. And when I come back on, then you'll know we're ready to begin. So there will be a few moments of silence on my end, okay?
Thank you.
Okay. So just close your eyes for a few moments and just allow yourself to breathe down into your heart. Oftentimes, I find when you settle down into your heart, other questions that you want to ask may come up. And I call forth the unconditional love and grace of the Creator to surround us, fill us, and fulfill us as we go on this journey into your Akashic records. I ask for the ability to bring forward the purity and have the ability for both of us to be able to utilize all information received here today. I'm going to go into silence.
So while she's in silence, I'm just going to tell you that all she did was ask for my name, and I have changed my name. So we joked around about opening up the wrong records, which won't happen. But basically, that was just our initial 1 minute conversation before coming on here to record. And I wanted everyone to release all fear and stigma when you have sessions like this, because these modalities are so very powerful.
Okay, Sandra, your records are open. I'd like to share with you a piece of information that I received as your records was opening. Um, the the beings that are wanting to connect with you are star beings, and they're from the third lifetime that you have had. You've had thousands of lifetimes, but the star family comes from your third lifetime. And there's multiple reasons why they're trying to contact you. One is there is a level of play they want to bring back into your life, and there's a level of serious intellect that they want to bring back into your life. And the third reason is, and I found this one quite interesting, I've never had anything like this come through before, and that is in your next incarnation, they would like you to come home.
Hmm,
Yeah.
that makes me teary-eyed.
Yeah.
That
Very
really hits
beautiful.
your heart.
Yeah. So just take that in and feel it, see what it means, see if there's any questions that might come up around what you're feeling or anything.
Well, I'm feeling like I'm so grateful that they're here, and I can feel the playfulness. I think they've been around me for a bit now because I have felt so giddy and happy for ridiculous reasons and for no reason at all. I feel like at 67 years old, I'm jumping around like a 4-year old wanting to play. And I'm like, where did all this come from? But I'm just going to embrace it. So when they say coming home, what does that mean to them?
They're wanting you to come back to the origin of planet, the star itself. And the words I hear from the records is they're wanting you to come back home to take your rightful place. And so I ask, what does that mean, take your rightful place? Because that could mean a lot of different things. And what I'm hearing is you held a position of authority on that planet, and you're meant to step back into that role in order to redirect some things that are going on and to bring realignments back into the planet. There's codes that you hold deeply within your heart that were given to you in that lifetime, that third lifetime when you were on the star, that the star needs now. So they're asking that when you make your next reincarnation, that you consider coming back to the star and activating those codes for the planet again.
So it's almost like I pass here and I reincarnate there,
Yeah.
as we have here on Earth as well.
Yeah, there is, it's hard to put in language, Sandra, because we use time and it's such a ridiculous word because time is only relative in this third dimensional reality, but it's the only maybe gap. There is a gap. So when we take our last breath, there's a process our soul goes through. Some people call it the 7 steps of hell. Some people call it many different things, and I personally feel that it depends on how you've lived your life to what that process is, how difficult it is, how long you stay in it. Some people call it your life review. So it just depends on what happened to you to what that life review might look like. And once you go through that time, then there's a gap. And in that gap is when um, there's a hypnotherapy process called Life Between Lives. That's that gap, that space that you go into that's neither here nor there. It's that in between field of energy where you can go into the Akashic records, you can go to specific schools of learning to learn some things that you need to learn. It's a place you go to make decisions of what you're going to do in your next lifetime. And they're asking that when you go into that space, that you consider coming back to your star.
And do I ask what that star's name is, or would I even recognize it, or would anyone listening even recognize that star's
No,
name?
they're saying, because I did ask and they said no, they're not willing to give the name out because the frequency is so high that
Mhm.
even if I had the vocal cords to express it, no one would be able to hear it.
I understood as soon as I started
Makes
saying
the
it. I was
hair
like,
stand up all over me.
probably not a good question to ask. Well, it's interesting because I do know through my own past life experiences in sessions, I was in a school before I incarnated into my mother.
Yes.
And so when you just said that, I got that picture
Yeah.
back again. And
Yeah.
the last thing I had was a Yeti kissing me and blowing on my head. And then next thing I know, I was in utero in
Yeah.
this lifetime. So that makes total sense. Well, I would like to ask the Akashic records, what is it that I have been seeing for 6 or 7 years in the sky? I call it my sky show. There's
Mhm.
always a particular way that it appears to me. There seems to be what appears to be a humanoid, but then also an animal, and they're both moving in it. I've only been able to interpret it as moving energy. Um, and things have changed a little bit in the last couple of weeks. I'm seeing things a little differently. So I would love to know, first off, what is it that I'm seeing? And what questions could I ask that I haven't been asking in a way that I could receive answers with better understanding?
Okay. Well, first of all, what they want you to know is they change their appearance in order for you to be able to accept them and recognize them and not put any attachments of any kind, whether it be a really high frequency attachment or a fear. They just want to come to you in a very neutral manner. So they make their appearance to you ambiguous, is the word that the records are using. So there's no attachments that can be made. They did that in order to get your attention. We humans have begun setting aside the ability of focus, and our mind wanders very easily. So it was a means of allowing you to focus and begin to learn focus skills on a different level. It's like thinking differently. We've humans learned to have thought patterns and certain formulas. And now, as we move up into the higher realms and higher dimensions and into the quantum realms, those things are beginning to change for us. It's like an example. I was driving home from a restaurant with a friend, and all of a sudden I found myself looking around saying, "Where am I? Where did I just go?" You know, and when I finally recognized where I was at on the road, I realized that I had driven about 5 miles with no third dimensional, this timeline reality of what took place. So things like that are happening where we're jumping timelines and we're going to different realities because, you know, the plasticity of our brains, when we begin to release certain levels of belief systems and fears and thought forms and patterns, that's the key that will allow us to begin to entrain our minds to go into those higher realms. And you've been doing that unknowingly over the last 20 years, is what I'm hearing from the records. So the changes in the forms are because they're beginning to realize that you're on the brink of accepting what they look like. And it comes to you in sparkles and shifts almost like silver snow, only it's rainbow frequency. Is that what you're seeing? That's what you're
Yes,
telling me you're seeing. Yeah.
yes. Exactly. It looks like white fireworks just going all over the place. And
Yeah.
occasionally one will separate and it comes closer to me and
Yeah.
like, just like, hey, just want you to know, and
Yeah.
then zips back.
Yeah.
Um, and they've been doing that a lot more recently. And so your
So
description of that is interesting.
when they do that, ask what is the message it has for you.
Okay.
Yeah. And be open. Have your heart really open and ask, what is the message you have for me? I'm ready to listen now.
Okay. All right. Um, and I do see them morph because what I see with my visual eyes
Mhm.
is the same if I close my eyes. This the texture and the things are different, and it's almost watercolory, moving watercolors when my eyes are closed, and then I can see the faces morph into things I don't know what they are. I could say, oh, that's so sci-fi, right?
Yeah.
But it'll morph back. It'll just take different shapes. So they're letting me know that there's multiple beings,
Yeah.
but they're just showing me a consistent beginning, and then letting me follow that, and then letting me morph with it when I allow it,
Yeah.
depending on my time frame. So to me, it is so magical. It's like I live to be able to go out and sit on the deck and just have my time. No disruptions. Like that's my sky show. That's my screen. But yet I have drawn in a lot of frustration because I'll sit there and ask questions and so on. And I just feel like I want to give up sometimes because I'm not receiving, it. And I did hear a word the other day. I thought before they were almost like in a different dimension, almost like through a saran wrap. And the other day it was more like a silk screen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is what I heard.
See, they're preparing you, they're allowing your physical body to get climatized to the higher frequencies that they're holding. When they can lift you up energetically to a certain level, then you're going to be able to clearly hear them. The physical body is very dense, and it takes time for the physical body to be able to lighten up, literally lighten up enough energetically to be able to attune to that higher frequency. It would be interesting if you would allow yourself to go in a slightly altered brainwave state, like alpha or theta, while you sit there, and that probably would assist you in increasing your state.
Thank you. And that's been happening again recently as well. And then what I had noticed the other day, I felt this energetic tingling around my feet. My feet were bare. And when I looked down, I could see the energy. Even when I moved my toes, the energy moved with my toes. And then the energy around my body and my hands were moving. So it was almost like I had silhouette of energy around my physical body that I could see very tangibly. And they told me they were working on me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they do it all the time, but just this time it's more intense.
Yeah. You're getting closer.
I'm getting boosters, big time boosters.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes. Well, so thank you for helping me understand that. It's been interesting to talk to the unknown and try to put it into my 3D world, because I understand some of it, but I cannot translate it.
Yeah.
And I'm not an artist, so I'm unable to draw it for
Mhm.
anyone to see it. So it's hard for me to describe the layers of colors of energy that moves every time they do. But I feel so safe and so comforted that anywhere I am, anywhere in the world that I am, I could look at a wall or look at the sky and the same thing comes up.
Yeah.
So then I know that I don't have a neurological disorder.
No,
or there's, because there are times when you question yourself going, oh my gosh, there's something wrong with me. What am I seeing? But I just know that the energy right now is coming on much stronger and much more intense and more visual. And different, a little bit
you're
different.
not meant to draw it and show it to other people because it's meant just for you. It is a recalibration of your physical body so that you can begin to understand who they are. And so let the frustration go and just go with the flow and enjoy it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I feel like, I've been building up for something, and I feel like I'm right here at this point where I'm about to make some changes. And one of those is a physical move. Same demographics, but I think I have a feeling it's temporary. But what I want to know is, what do the Akashic records like to share about this particular move, and what I might have revealed to me through this move and after this move?
Well, part of the move is about letting go of some of the energies that's anchored into the home where you're at. And physically moving will allow you to do that, even though you might not be consciously aware of it. There's an energy that it's important for you to release, and the move out of that home will assist you in releasing it. They don't want to go into any details around it, but it will be very positive for you to release it. In this new home, when you move into it, it's important for you to set your intentions of what you want to accomplish in this home. And your intention is to hold the highest vibrational frequency possible so that you may fully connect with your star family.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I feel like this move is also going to bring me into a new calibration of self and nervous system. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I don't even know how to describe it. It's kind of like the perfect pinball game where the ball goes exactly where it needs to go, ping, 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 and then now it goes exactly where it needs to be. So I've been pinging a lot for years,
Mm-hmm.
and but now I'm scoring.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what just came through. So would that be a better way to describe what this time frame is, and the fact that I'm stepping out and moving onto my own in a new space?
Yes, it is around the nervous system, but particularly around the part of the brain and the vagus nerve, which the vagus nerves, as you know, starts in the head, goes down the neck, and then branches out all through the body. It controls your fight flight, controls your calmness, your peace, and there is adjustments. All this energy that's coming around you is part of what's assisting in making the adjustments. But in this new home, it feels like it's almost like you can just, settle down into your body and anchor into who you are, and then spiral up and out and open. And that's the energy they show me. It's like you get good and grounded, but then it's like you bring a geyser of energy up through your feet, up through your central core, out the top of your head, and then allow your channel to open. Does that
In
make
It
sense?
makes total sense, but in doing that, um, what is that going to bring me? Am I going to have a better connection and be able to um, translate not only for myself but for others? Am I going to be able to, channel? Am I going to, for myself and others? Like, what does that look like when I open that up? Like, what would be the benefit of me doing that?
The first step would be for you to just begin bringing the information in for yourself and get comfortable with that first. And once you get comfortable with that, then you can start asking to channel information for others. But get comfortable with yourself first.
Mhm.
They have information that is only for you that they want to give you first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that too. And I wasn't afraid of like doing this and sharing this information with others because I'm an open book, and unless it was something so super private, I just wouldn't air the show, right?
Yeah.
Because I would be told not to, and I'd never go against spirit,
Right.
right? So can we talk about, am I fully merged with my higher self?
Indeed.
Yes.
No
Thank you.
question. Absolutely.
Thank you. So we walk as one.
Yes.
Thank you. And did that occur around 2017 that I was
Um,
aware of?
yeah, that you were aware of. It started like 2 years before that incrementally for you. But yes.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
And that's the beauty of it, Sandra. They're saying that you have brought it through in a conscious way. And a lot of people don't. And it's very important for us to begin to become very conscious of those higher connections, whether it's to our higher self, to the monadic self, to the creator, to the angels, to the star beings. It's important to begin doing it in a very conscious manner now.
Mhm. Thank you. It just bubbles up tears,
Yeah.
because I can feel the energy of the records being open. I can also feel the energy of you translating it, but it's also confirmation of multiple things. It's guided me to this moment in time. Um, so thank you for sharing that. Um, so are there any current contracts that I am to fulfill outside of the fact, I just heard this, I came in to deliver information and to decipher information for myself and for others. And that is a commitment that I made prior to coming in. That just came through. I could be completely off base here.
No, that's correct.
Uh, but are there any other contracts that are awaiting me to be fulfilled?
There'll be one more contract revealed in the near future to you. There is two contracts that you're kind of like in the middle of. One belongs to connections with your earth family here. And there is some things that need to fall into place before that can be brought into completion. And then it feels like there's still an attachment to the ex-husband that has to be released in order for that contract to be complete. And
And
it's
go
with
ahead.
him, it's not about forgiveness. It is about the attachment more is about an expectation that you held just to release it, and the contract with him will be complete.
And so once these are complete, then one more future contract will be,
Mhm.
and it'll be revealed to me at that time.
Right.
So we don't need to talk about it. Okay.
No.
But thus far, let's just use a human grading scale. How well have I done up to this moment on completing and fulfilling what I intended to fulfill in this lifetime? How well have I done?
Okay.
I
Well,
don't mean an
Sam,
A plus, but I mean an 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10,
yes,
you
they say
know.
you've done very well. Human life is messy, but that you've done very well. And so, if you want to do, a 1 to 10 scale, 10 being complete, one being just beginning, they would say you're kind of bouncing right at the 8.2%.
Thank you.
So you're close. You're a lot closer than what a lot of other people are.
Well, that's also recognizing you know, the God within that I am as God, and that higher self in all things. And the older I get, and the more that I've gone through this, the more I absorb that oneness
Yes.
and feel and see the beauty. And so the more I've ungunked um, blockages, so to speak. I've ungunked pipelines so that I can see, sense, and feel in a much more expanded way.
Yeah.
And that's hard to explain to others. It's just
Yeah.
a feeling. So I feelings are my first language.
Yeah.
It's unwritten, it's unspoken.
Yeah.
it's not translatable
Right.
really. And
Yeah.
so that's my first line of communication. And understanding that over the years has taken me to different levels.
Yeah.
Not saying the earth life has been easy with it,
No.
but I've had to navigate through the waters of feeling.
Yeah. 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 You came in with the conception of being able to learn to stand into your own sovereignty. And when one of your caliber of humanness comes in and they begin stepping into that calibration of their own sovereignty, it's a definite sign of moving through the filters into the greater understanding of the authenticity of the divinity within. And that's straight from the records.
Is that why in my current birth family, the DNA lineage in which I live here in the now, um, is that why I always felt very different and recognized it from my siblings and my parents? Is
Yeah.
that why my mother was religious, and so I every time I went into that world, it I couldn't stay there very long. I
Yeah.
It just was so untruth for me, even at 4, 5, 6, 7 years old. Um, and I would just back away from it and just let it sort of be
Yeah.
what I had to do under the roof, you know.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, indeed. There is a lot of falseness and illusion and distortions in a lot of religions. And religions are here because humans need them. And it is a guideline for a lot of humans. And the key for people like you and I is that we understand it for what it is, and we see what's behind it and beyond it, which is the
Yes.
truth.
And as we get older, we learn to release the judgment of it,
Right.
right? And
Yeah.
let it just take its natural course, because hopefully everyone's going to wake up.
They
That's
will
how I
eventually.
look at it.
Yeah.
But if they have to hold tight onto that to keep their survival chain intact,
Yes.
then that's what they do,
Yeah.
right? Um, I would like to address partnership,
Okay.
divine consort. And I've been told over the years that it's coming.
Hmm.
Um, and this is just my own, not through sessions, but that's also been confirmed there too. How close are we with this occurring?
Timelines are difficult. It could be anywhere from a year to 2 years. Some of this has to do with your move and the shifting that's going on within you, and the bringing the contract with the ex to completion, and being able to stand into the openness to receive this divine person coming into your life.
Mhm. Well, I have two thoughts on that. One is I feel like it's always coming out there, so I'll be a shriveled prune by the time it arrives, and
Right.
then I'm gonna be pissed, you know? And two, I also get that I came in with my spiritual drive was never gonna be interrupted by anything or anyone.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That brings up a very interesting point, because there's a fallacy that a lot of women hold, and that is that if they have a mate, they have to be exactly in sync with no anything else other than that. So if I say something's white, they have to say it's white even if it's green. That sort of thing. So they
Mhm.
have to be in the spiritual, total spiritual mindset in order to be able to be a partner. And the records have been very clear with me, that's not so. That sometimes the partner comes in to be some sort of specific support for you in order to allow you to do the things you need to do. And it doesn't take away from the lovingness that's going on between you. It's the acceptance that they are who they are and you are who you are, and you can meet in the middle and still enjoy each other, but it does not impede you in any way in your growth.
Yes, and they can also come in as a disruptor just to help you open and recognize the
Right.
disruptions, right?
Absolutely.
And then do you choose to go on further into that relationship?
Yeah.
I do not feel I will experience that. I think there will be a mutual respect.
Right.
And besides that, my devotion, and I mean, I can't even imagine my life being any other way but my spiritual path.
Right.
And everything on it would be in sync with that.
Yeah.
And yet I could still collaborate and coexist when there are differences because I've lived that way all my life,
Right.
right? Because I feel like I've been on this different cloud, so to speak, but in the same vicinity of the other clouds,
Yeah.
with just different, frequency
Yeah.
and translation of those frequencies,
Yeah.
you know, and all of it continues to open the heart. But I was really hoping you might say sooner because I was making all these right moves and getting where I needed to be. And, I'm
Well,
waiting at the stop sign, waiting for the man with flowers. Just kidding. And say, I've been waiting here for you. Where the
yes.
hell have you been?
Yes. Well, some of the part of it that we don't often take in consideration is it's not just about us, it's about where they're at too, and what they may or may not be going through, whether they're ready for you or not.
Yes, they need to be ready.
Yeah, they need to be ready. They
They
need to
need,
meet you where you're at.
that's right.
And I'm the same way. Whoever he is, he has to be ready to meet me where I'm at,
Yes.
or it's a no-go.
I'm right there with you, sister.
Yep.
Okay, so is there a particular role or roles I am to be playing with the collective awakening or healing?
No. As long as you're coming from the sacredness of your heart, you will not go in a wrong direction.
Mm,
And that's the key, the sacredness of your heart.
yes. And that is above anything, everything else, what I preserve,
Yes.
right? It's where I
Right.
marinate, it's where I swim, it's where I live, is
Yeah.
in that spiritual divine frequency and flow. And so being alone, is it bad? Because I'm never alone,
Right.
you know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I just know that because of all this information um, that's about to come through without all the clogged up pipes that I am clearing, it's going to be such a natural high that
Yeah.
it's it's a deeper relationship than just the one-on-one physical relationships.
Yes.
And so I know that I'm committed to that.
Yeah.
So I honor that first and foremost. Why I'm not sure, because I don't have all the pieces to the puzzle. I
Right.
just know that that's where my residence
Mm-hmm.
is in that. It's hard
Yeah.
to explain. Um, is there anything that might be hesitating with me clearly moving forward besides the human, stumbles?
Who will I be when I do this? Who will I be? Who will I be? I don't know who I'll be, and that's a little scary. That's the words I hear. So the reassurance is as you step into this, you're going to find you can morph, transmute into being that silvery, multicolored light. and dance with them. And then so you're going to be moving, phasing is the word they use, in and out of those realms in order to bring back information to this realm to assist people. So I don't know if that answers your questions, but that was the information they gave.
No, that's fine. So while you were saying that, I was thinking, I think my source of income and jobs are going to sway a little bit because this information coming through is going to bring a different avenue um, of sustainable income while being of service and helping others. Am I hearing that correctly?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Hmm. Do they see does the Akashic records, can you see, is this going to um, open up the channels of pathways and meeting larger groups of people, helping larger groups of people, not just this one-on-one?
Yeah, I see you starting with yourself for a period of time, and then I see you testing it for a short period of time with doing one-on-ones. And then I see you doing it on Zoom with groups, and then beginning to open it up larger and larger.
And that will all unfold on all the details on that later. That's not important now, is what I'm hearing.
No,
Yeah, because that takes away from the fun of exploring.
yes,
It does. I know.
yeah,
I know, even though we just want to know.
I know.
Inquiring minds like mine, so inquisitive. So, as far as health goes,
Mhm.
physical, mental, emotional health, um, are the records showing anything that might be helpful for me to know? Maybe some tweaks, some changes, some awarenesses um, that might help.
Um, I'm hearing take a B complex.
Mhm.
I'm first asking about your mental health, physical health, and I hear B complex, particularly B12, for whatever reason. Your mental health is fine. There is a slowing down, there's an inflammation that's starting in your body, and they're saying it would be really good for you to do some detox and some fasting in order to clear that inflammation out. Yeah, it seems to be it's mostly going to settle in your elbows and your knees, is what I'm seeing. But that you can clear that out where it doesn't affect you. This shifting that's going to take place with you, or that you're beginning to step into with the vagus nerve in the brain, is going to help with the emotional health. It's going to assist you into shifting into a greater sense of peace and calmness. Um, so that's sort of already in the flow. It's in the process of taking place for you now. Um, I'm hearing it would be good if you did some gentle exercise, something like Tai Chi, to where you get the body movement going and you get the fluidity of the movement. That seems to be what's important for you, is for you to be able to be in a fluid moment of all times on all levels. Does that make sense?
It makes total sense. Many people are hard on themselves, and my body's always asked for gentle. So back in the day when all the exercising started, it was run, get on the treadmill, get on the elliptical, do this, do that, whatever. And I found the greatest joy just doing yoga, because
Yeah.
yoga is very difficult when you go into your breath and literally go in slow mo.
Yeah.
So you feel like one of those sleuths going across the road.
Yeah.
Takes a while to get there.
Yeah.
And then I've been doing a lot of Pilates this past year, which has been extremely helpful in getting back in my consciousness into this body, and first of all becoming aware of where everything is and the movement of it, and then making deliberate conscious action towards balancing and aligning what is, never beating myself up, just saying, oh, well, there's a goal. There's a goal. Okay, I see a restriction. There's a goal. Instead of going, oh my God, this is so, like, it's now it's, oh, there's a goal. There's a goal. So
Well,
that's nice.
yeah, one of the things we don't think about it, and it's just plain sheer physics. It's whenever you want to make a change in your life and you exert a force towards that, there's going to be a rebound, a pushback of energy. And it depends on how much you're pushing forward to that goal, to how much energy and pushback you're going to get. For an instance, is if your intention is, if you're in bad health and your intention is to achieve good health, and you're in like 3 months and you're feeling all these positive changes starting to happen, and then one day you feel like your health has totally fallen apart, most people's attitude is, well, that was a effing waste, right? And if they would look at it instead as, wow, I must really be doing something right for something this big to happen.
Well, I love that you're saying that, because after 7 months of Pilates 5 times a week, I think I'm the only person that could do it and actually gain weight. Okay. So there are times where I'm like, what am I doing? Why don't I just give up? But at the same time, I'm like, no, you asked for reconstruction of everything. And, the other thing too is I want to ask the records here real quick too, because that has to do with this movement and the exercise and so on. As in most of my lifetime, most people that I know, when stress hits, they immediately shed pounds. They just shed pounds, right? I am the opposite. I go into what I feel like is the sumo wrestler.
Yeah.
Like I put it on and then I get in that stance and I hold. Now, I know much of that is fear, but the other day I got messages that was, the warrior in you has to conserve.
Mm-hmm.
The leader within you has to conserve. And so when stuff is happening out there, your body goes into slow-mo so that it can preserve itself and observe itself and the energies, and you still have sustainable fat to live on. And then when others are hungry, they can eat before you, because you want your warrior tribe to be nourished in order to fight with you, right?
Yeah.
And so I was getting this whole visual while I was driving, and I said, well, that's all beautiful, but what happens to the circumference of my own waistline? Because I'm not in warrior mode right now. There is
Right.
nothing to fear right now.
Yeah.
So I believe this is a belief system that just needs to be let go of.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
why does my body still do that?
It's a habit. That's all it is.
Okay.
It's a habit. You've every time it happens, you're compounding the belief that that's the way it has to be. And so now your body accepts it. So anytime you go into stress, your body automatically wants to gain weight.
Mm-hmm.
Some of that's going to shift as your vagus nerve shifts.
Mm-hmm.
And then the stress will start falling away, because you're no longer connected to the victim energy. You're no longer connected to the energy you have to force it. You're moving into flow. You're moving into fluidity. There's no resistance. There just is. So there's no stress.
Yes, because nothing's happening to me.
Right. Absolutely.
Yes,
Yeah.
nothing's. So we just have a few more minutes left. I want to respect our time. What else with the Akashic records like to share with me?
Okay.
Um,
So they're saying they're saying number one is be patient with the process, and they know that's not easy. They're laughing. They say they know that it's not easy, but it's going to assist you if you just be willing to adjust and be grateful for where you're at in the moment, knowing that it is shifting. And when something positive happens, be grateful for it and ask for more. Because when you do that, that's the formula that will begin to open those doors up that have been shut so far.
okay.
Yeah. There's much
Okay.
love for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So I will take all this into consideration and just let it marinate and bask in it for a while, and we'll go from there. So is there anything else that you want to share before you close? And
They've given you much information. There's a lot of knowledge that you've received that's been transmitted to you beyond words. Please be aware of that. Um, they'll come up into your consciousness when you're ready to receive them. So there has been a large transmission of a very high frequency energy given to you on a cosmic level, a galactic level. So be aware of that. It will come to you in those in between states of beingness where you can breathe without breathing and be without being. And you know exactly what they mean.
I do. It's that cosmic software system.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I know exactly what they're saying. So thank you so
You're welcome.
very
Thank
much, Akashic Records, for sharing with me and for coming through, Rosemary. And I just appreciate it. So I'll let you go ahead and do your close.
All right. Then we ask the masters, teachers, and loved ones to close your records now. Amen. 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 Your records are closed.
Thank you. Hey, we didn't open the wrong ones.
No.
Well, it was funny because when I asked about the health thing and you said, yeah, well, we're going into the mental, and in my head, I'm like, well, of course you are. Of course you're, there's a lot of crazy up here. Of course you're going
Yeah.
there. Right. But what we don't see beyond, the basic questions and the asking is that there's a lot of work being done while the records are being opened.
Yes.
And so there's a lot of implantation. There's also a lot of releasing that happens when we're in sessions like this that take time to subtly unfold, right? So it's not because right now we're focused on, oh, I have this question, I want this answer, I want this question, and then processing each answer. And then many of us get stuck in that linear, like what was the exact
Mm,
words that she used, and
mhm.
when it's so much broader than that,
Yes.
because you're
Yes.
taking this broad energy and you're trying to condense it into this small little teeny few words that we call
Yeah.
our language, and that diminishes the powerful energy that is occurring.
Yeah. Well, if even if the language was not spoken, just being in the energy of the records, it's the creator's love. You can't vibrate much higher than that. And just
Mhm.
being in that frequency with, and just like you said, marinating in it is shifting you energetically. So yes, indeed, as we add language to it and all, there's always a transmission. At least when I do the records, there's always a transmission being given of some kind.
Yes, and the beauty of it is, those who are listening that can't see us here on YouTube, um, I could feel the welling up as the records were being opened. I could feel the love and the energy and the expansion happening in my etheric body and then translating into my physical body. And of course, sometimes the result of that is bubbling up tears
Yeah.
because your body is trying to figure out what is happening here. So tears can be such a beautiful way of just exhaling and letting things just sort of blossom,
Yeah.
because you
Definitely.
don't have words to to translate it. But I just want to thank you for all the work that you do, and also coming on here and doing a session so that people can see, sense, and feel it and hear it. But everybody that wants to know more about it, we'll have Rosemarie's website in the description. And so you see what a session is like, right? Yours could be a lot different because you're going through something that's different, but you see how simple it is and realistic it is. We're just sitting here having a conversation.
Right. And that's the important part of it, is the simplicity and the practicality of it. So we can ask day-to-day questions. We can ask cosmic questions. We can ask galactic questions. There are no limitations. You can ask whatever you want to. Although I will say the one question I will not ask is if you ask me about yourself or someone else when they're going to die.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's not that I can't get the information, it's that I personally refuse to answer that.
Yeah, I understand. And also it's not opening up your child's records or your husband's records or your best friend. This is about you and then your relationship with those records, right? So
Yeah.
understanding that is important too.
And interesting that you mentioned the child, because we don't open the records of anybody under the age of 18.
Oh,
Yes. And the reason for that is because they're energetically still developing, and we don't want to do anything to impair that development. So a parent can come with questions about a child, but I would open the parents' records and they would ask questions. So I can do that. But yeah.
well, that would make, well, first of all, I did not know about, they're still in a lot of transformation, and we don't want to alter any of that. I did not know that. Would that go until what, 21, 25, or it's just a under 18? We just
Yeah,
don't.
under
Too
under
vulnerable.
18, we don't do it.
Okay. But as we know, many of us have our contracts with our children or our
Right.
siblings. So opening up our records can show our interaction with them, not necessarily their intention or their
Right.
pathways.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's limited to what is connected with you.
Makes total sense. Makes total sense.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Okay.
you guys, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to Keep It Spiritually Simple. And we want to thank Marie Swanson for coming on. And then also don't miss any episodes, because you got to hit that subscribe button, because we're going to be doing a quantum clearing. That's my next session with Marie. So stay tuned for that. So say goodbye, Marie.
Bye. Have a great day, y'all.
Bye, everybody.